Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com preview video for Clash of Champions, the first Raw exclusive pay-per-view of the new brand extension era. I'm Aaron Rift from NoDQ.com. I am being joined today by the Power of Pain, Mr. David Payne himself. How you doing today?
Not too bad, Aaron. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, hopefully the video quality is a little better. I know you've got a new setup and you got the lighting issue fixed. You look like Sheamus on that last video you did.
Yeah, that's what I was told, man. That's what I was told. A little too white.
But looking better now. Looks like we're all set to go here. We got this pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. 8 matches actually announced instead of the 6 for Backlash. So the Raw pay-per-view looking a little bit more stacked than the previous pay-per-view. Hopefully we'll get a longer pay-per-view too. I know that last time the pay-per-view only went about 2 hours and 40 minutes. And this pay-per-view should be the full 3-hour length with 8 matches announced. And who knows if they'll add more matches or more segments. So from top to bottom, what are your thoughts on this card? Are you excited for this pay-per-view? How does it compare to Backlash?
I don't know. To me, it's funny because Seth Rollins' stock has dropped for me. So I was more excited to see AJ Styles win. But, yeah, I mean, it's decent. It's decent. I mean, having a couple more matches may help. But I tell you what, Raw's best move was getting the Cruiserweights. To me, that was some compelling – that stole the show in my opinion. So it might steal the show this pay-per-view too, watching the Cruiserweights.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I thought the Cruiserweight segment was really strong on Raw, probably the highlight of the entire Raw show. And I'm looking forward to this match with TJ Perkins versus the Brian Kendrick. But we'll get to that in a second here. Let's start off with the kickoff match, which is Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. And I'm expecting this to pretty much be a massacre. I think maybe Alicia will get a little bit of offense, but it's going to basically be a showcase for Nia, and I think it's going to be an easy win for her. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just another squash match, basically. I mean, you put somebody that's just low card instead of a complete job person, and yeah, she'll get squashed. And they're doing the same with Bo Dallas now too, and Braun Strowman. It's the same formula, so trying to make her look invincible.
Yeah, I think Alicia Fox might get a little bit of offense, similar to Sin Cara on Raw. He maybe got a few moves in, and then he quickly got beat. That's what I'm expecting to happen here. So not much to it, just basically something to be a kickoff match, just a match that's thrown in there. And yeah, I think it's an easy prediction to go with Nia. So now let's move on to the main card. And as we just talked about, the Cruiserweight match for the Cruiserweight Championship. I guess this pay-per-view is following the format of Night of Champions, despite the name change to Clash of Champions. Every title from the Raw brand is on the line. We have TJ Perkins in his first title defense against the Brian Kendrick. On Raw, they made a big deal about Kendrick being 37 years old, and this is his big comeback after being gone for several years. What were your thoughts on Kendrick winning? Do you think he was the right person to challenge TJ Perkins? And what are your thoughts on Kendrick being on a major WWE pay-per-view again?
Well, I was a fan of Cedric Alexander. I think you'll see more of him too. But Perkins, yeah, I think they're giving him the push because he is 37 years old. And I don't think he'll win. I just think it's more or less, hey, you know, you've paid your dues and we're going to give you a spot here. And, yeah, I foresee TJ Perkins winning and him being the face of the Cruiserweight division for a little while. Now, I don't know how many of those guys from the CWC actually signed and came over, but so far the 4 that we saw yesterday was a good start.
Yeah, definitely. And it's looking right now like about 7 or 8 guys are under contract. And I'm sure that WWE will try to sign more of them, you know, try to get as many under contract as possible, especially if this thing really takes off. And so far, WWE's off to a good start. I mean, that match on Raw was really strong. And even though most of the fans did not recognize the performers, by the time that match was over, I mean, everybody was really into that match. So those guys won over the live crowd. And if they can win over that live crowd, I think they'll be able to win over any live crowd. And this should be a success if WWE keeps giving these guys a good amount of TV time and allow these. I think the Cruiserweight division has a lot of potential. And yeah, I think that this match is designed to establish T.J. Perkins as the new Cruiserweight champion, and Brian Kendrick is the veteran there to help elevate the younger talent in T.J. Perkins. And Kendrick is still young himself at 37. I mean, he's younger than AJ. He's younger than Cena. But yeah, he is considered to be a veteran at this point. But yeah, I'm glad that Kendrick is getting a chance to be back in the spotlight after several years and be part of this Cruiserweight division relaunch. I definitely feel that guys like Kendrick can help elevate the Cruiserweight talents and really get the division going again. So I'm happy for that. And yeah, I do see TJ retaining the title in this match, and I'm assuming that's your prediction as well.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on here. We have the final match in the best of 7 series. Very convenient that this worked out perfectly. So the 7th match takes place on the pay-per-view. We have Cesaro versus Sheamus, the singles match. The winner apparently will be getting a title shot, although I'm not sure if you know this or not, but has WWE made it clear which title the winner gets to get a shot against? Do you know?
No, I was hoping for you to break that news.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I mean, to my knowledge, it's going to be for the world title, but they haven't really specified. I mean, it could end up being the U.S. title. It could end up being the women's title. I mean, who knows which championship they're going to go for. I'm assuming that Cesaro wins this. I could see Sheamus winning, but I really feel that with Cesaro's storyline and him being frustrated, I think that in the long run, it would be better for Cesaro to pick up the win here, and it's more crucial for him. With Sheamus, I feel it really doesn't matter if he wins or loses, but I think it will really hurt Cesaro if he loses this match. What are your thoughts on it? Are you looking forward to this match? Do you think that Cesaro should be getting the win here, or do you think it just doesn't matter for either guy at this point?
He should get the win. It's crucial for his character built. But they kind of took it from the NBA finals where the Cavaliers were down 3-1, and then they end up winning the whole series. So they're kind of stealing that underdog being down 2 rematches and winning. But I wanted to crap on the series, but that last match was pretty decent on Raw with them. Cesaro pulled some moves out of his original. So I think Cesaro's going to win this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the match on Raw was very solid, and I'm going with Cesaro as the pick. I think he should win. I think he probably will win, but again, I'm not ruling out a Sheamus win. It's not like there's a clear-cut direction for really either guy at this point. But I think of the two of them, Cesaro's the guy that needs the win more. So I'll go with Cesaro to win. Yeah. And next up, we have the U.S. title match. We have Rusev versus Roman Reigns. And not sure why we're talking about this so early here, because this will probably be the semi-main event. Coming off of Raw, Roman Reigns looked very strong, defeating the WWE Universal Champion in a steel cage match, which I know a lot of people on Twitter and Facebook were very critical of that, saying that the Universal Champion should not be losing on the go-home show for the pay-per-view. But my guess is that Roman Reigns will likely challenge Kevin Owens for the Universal title at some point. And because of that, I see Rusev retaining the title. Now, there's always the possibility of WWE doing a champion versus champion match, but I think it's more likely that something will go down. There'll be some sort of shenanigans. I mean, Reigns looked really strong on Raw, so I think it'll be okay for him to lose here. Lana interfering or something to screw over Reigns again, screw him out of the U.S. title, and that'll be the end of their feud. What are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I could see it going that way. But it bothers me
that
the champion
loses,
and then the guy that beat him goes on to lose as well. So it's kind of just makes the champion look weak.
Yeah, I agree on that. It's very weird how this whole thing has been booked. But what is your prediction for this match? Do you think that Reigns will get screwed over? Do you think Reigns will win and there'll be like the champion versus champion match? What are you leaning towards?
I'm gonna
pick him to win,
but don't be surprised to see another
dirty finish.
Yeah, I mean, at SummerSlam, we didn't even really have a match. We just had a brawl, basically. So I'm hoping we get somewhat of a clear winner here. But yeah, I could see shenanigans. I could see a DQ or something going down so neither guy ends up looking weak.
Exactly.
My prediction is Rusev will win with a lot of outside interference and help, whether it's Lana or somebody else coming in. Something will happen and Reigns will get screwed out of the title. That's my prediction for the match.
All right.
So
We'll have a little bit of a different one.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn, and I feel that WWE has missed the boat on him somewhat in the past month or so. You know, he was just thrown into a random match on SummerSlam, the Kickoff, I believe, from what I remember. And, you know, this is a guy that's had several Match of the Year candidates already, and it feels like the company doesn't want to push him as strong as perhaps he deserves. You know, maybe they're holding him back a little bit. I'm really hoping that this will be a chance for him to shine again. And, you know, if given the time, these guys could have a really great match. What are your thoughts on this storyline and Sami Zayn's current direction?
Yeah, I think it can be. Jericho is a veteran that kind of goes quality matches with some of the guys who are trying to elevate. Now, Sami Zayn is the workhorse for the ever since he came back from injury. And I think he deserves a push. I mean, I think he deserves high-profile matches, significant storylines. And I think he should be one of the faces on Raw.
Yeah. I'm going with Zayn to win this just because I think it's really important for him to get a big win here, especially after a couple months of not really doing much. And he lost the match to Kevin Owens a few weeks back. And, you know, I think he needs the big win here. I mean, Jericho doesn't need it. Jericho's going to be over for the rest of his career, regardless of how many matches he wins or loses. And he's been actually winning a fair amount of matches since he made his comeback at the start of the year. He's been doing very well. I mean, better than, you know, I do feel Jericho should be winning some matches. It's not like he should be losing constantly. But I think in this case, I'd like to see a Sami Zayn win. I mean, maybe Jericho will win and that'll set up a rematch and Zayn will win that one. So it just depends on how long Jericho's going to stick around. But, I mean, the reports going around, I mean, it's believed that Jericho will end up in the Universal title picture with Owens, and there'll be maybe a triple threat at the next pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. So because of that, if this is just one match, if it's just Zayn versus Jericho, one match, I think Zayn should get the win here.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. One-off match. But then again, when Jericho decides to go back to Flossie, he's going to have to do the job for somebody. So,
yeah, exactly. Although some people might argue that if Jericho is going into the Universal title picture, that he should win here and get some momentum. So, you know, I'm really torn about this one. I think it's important for Zayn to win, but I could see Jericho winning as well by that logic that you need to build up Jericho if he's going for the Universal title. I mean, it doesn't really make sense for him to lose to Zayn and then all of a sudden get a title shot. I could see it going either way.
Yeah, me
too. I'll go with Zayn as my pick, but would not shock me if Jericho won it.
Yeah, I'll go with Zayn. Too, but I echo that.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on here. We have the triple threat match for the women's championship. Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Bayley. This match was originally going to just be Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, but it was changed. Mick Foley added Bayley to the mix because of the controversial double pin from Raw last week. Interesting development on Raw where we had Bayley taking the fall in the tag team match and being pinned by Charlotte, which makes me think, I mean, this is my prediction for the match. I think that Bayley is going to win the title, and then Sasha is going to turn on Bayley because Bayley wasn't even scheduled to be in the match, and Bayley just gets added and then wins the title and steals Sasha's thunder. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel Sasha's better as a heel. I feel that when she cuts a promo, she's just better as a heel character. That's just my feeling on her, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Is that something you agree with, or do you think Sasha's better off as a face?
No, I think Sasha would make it because they dropped a diva. Comes out here and says, does all these superficial things. So
Yeah.
That really like bitchy, mean character. And and Bayley's obviously. So yeah, I could see that going forward between those two. Face Bayley, Sasha.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Sasha turns on Bayley and they feud, and WWE's building up this current feud between Charlotte and Dana Brooke. That seems to be the current direction, is Charlotte versus Dana, and then that leaves room for Sasha versus Bayley. So I'm thinking Bayley wins the title here, and then Sasha turns heel, and then Charlotte blames Dana for her loss, the usual stuff, and they'll go off and have their feud. And those will be the two top feuds in the women's division moving forward. That's what I'm expecting to happen. So I'm going with Bayley to win it. What about you?
That's not bad. I'm gonna say Charlotte for one more pay-per-view. I don't know. For me, it seems it's been such a big build-up. That they would want to save it for Survivor Series. But we'll see. I'm gonna go with Charlotte just on this one. But I do like your logic.
All right, well, there you have it. So, I mean, that very well could happen, and maybe even Sasha could win the title back. Who knows? But I'm definitely intrigued by what direction they're going in with this match. I think this match could really change the shape of the Divas division moving forward. So we'll see what happens with that.
The women's, Divas.
Oh, did I say Divas?
Yes, you did.
Well, after all this time, I'm still saying Divas. If any division is going to be the Divas division, it would be on SmackDown with all the total Diva performers, but whatever. All right, so next up, we have the tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team titles. The New Day versus Anderson and Gallows. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel both teams have really lost a lot of momentum, especially the New Day. And that segment a few weeks ago with the Old Day, I think really did neither teams any favors. What were your thoughts on that segment and this storyline build-up in general?
I don't like it, to be honest. It's cheesy. And Anderson trying to give them a character because sort of a good tag team, good wrestling tag team. They never had really any character. So they try to put them in styles. That didn't over. Now they're putting I don't know. I don't see what they're doing with them.
Yeah. And here's my take on it. I mean, I talked about this when I did the No DQ live video. I think the ball has already been dropped on Anderson and Gallows. I think when they debuted in Los Angeles in April, they should have been portrayed like the outsiders, like a modern-day version of Hall and Nash, and that would have gotten them over as something unique. But once they just started losing matches right away and just becoming regular guys on the roster, they lost their uniqueness. They're just two guys on the roster, and they haven't really stood out at this point. And WWE's tried to do the comedy segments with them, the doctor segments. For me, they were hit and miss. I know some people liked the first segment or the first couple of segments, but then it just fell off a cliff with that whole Old Day segment. And now I really don't care, and I don't care that much about the New Day at this point. I mean, they've really cooled off for me. Mm-hmm. And people know how high I was on the New Day last year in early 2016. But yeah, they've really cooled off for me a lot. I would like to see, I'm not sure what I want to see at this point, actually. I think that New Day will probably retain. And the fact that WWE's been mentioning Demolition, which they never did before.
No.
Now they're mentioning Demolition, and I think they're doing it for a reason. And the reason is that the plan is for New Day to break the all-time record Otherwise, why even bother mentioning Demolition at all, unless New Day is going to end up breaking the record? So that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting New Day to retain, and they'll stay champions through November or whenever it is that they officially break the all-time record as the longest reigning tag team champions of any version of the titles in WWE. So I'm going New Day to retain, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going with New Day.
I'm going with New Day.
I want them to break the record. That's
titles
that the record is for almost 30 years. 1990. They lost.
Yeah, it was like 8. I think they lost the titles in the middle of '89 to the Brainbusters.
Oh, was it the Brainbusters?
Yeah, I think it was the Brainbusters.
I know the Heart Foundation.
Was
around that time too.
Yeah. All right, so you're going with New Day to win. Next up, we have the main event, actually. This is the main event. Kevin Owens defending the WWE Universal title against Seth Rollins. The big question mark here is what is going to be Triple H's involvement, if anything. For the past several weeks, we have not seen Triple H ever since he turned on Seth Rollins. And one would think that Triple H will play a role in the finish of this match and interfere, and there'll be some sort of shenanigans to set up another match at Hell in the Cell, or possibly a triple threat with Jericho being added to the mix. I could see that happening. Maybe Jericho interferes in this match. Who knows? But I'm not expecting Kevin Owens to lose the title. I think that there will be some sort of interference. I would be shocked if it's a clean finish. I'm expecting outside interference, and Owens will retain the title because of the interference. What are your thoughts on this match and the storyline build-up?
Yeah, I agree. It's already two people that have been built as Kevin Owens' ally that can interfere, and that'd be Triple H and Chris Jericho. So the chances of a clean finish is probably unlikely and all likelihood.
Yeah, you have to steal a line from me. All right, so you think Owens is going to retain?
Yeah, definitely. I think Owens should have this belt for a while, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to be a lengthy champion, and Triple H will interfere or Jericho will interfere. Something will happen, and we'll have Owens retaining the title. So, I mean, I think on paper this is a pretty solid show. I mean, WWE has always delivered for the most part on pay-per-views, especially the past few years. I'm expecting this to be a very good show. I think the match that has the most potential to steal the show is Sami Zayn versus Jericho. If given the time, if Zayn is allowed to go out there and do his thing, I think Jericho and Zayn could be another match of the year contender, and maybe even the women's triple threat could be a show-stealing match. And of course, the Cruiserweight match.
Yeah, I would throw the Cruiserweight. Those guys are probably eager to steal the show. They don't want to step in any toe. In their minds, they want to have possible on the card.
Yeah, so the question is with the Cruiserweights, will they be allowed to go all out, or will they be told to hold back because they're the Cruiserweights and they're the opening match or the second match, and they cannot outshine the guys at the top of the card? I mean, that's the big question, is how much will these guys be allowed to do on this show? But if they're allowed to go out there and go all out,
I brought that up to Jeff. I said, are they going to make those guys hold back? I hope not.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see what happens with that. So that'll do it for our thoughts on the Clash of Champions pay-per-view. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe at youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. David now has his own series, The Power of Pain, on the No DQ YouTube channel. Any other plugs you want to get out there?
No, if you want to follow me at SmartMark on Twitter, and I appreciate all the kind comments on my video. I wasn't sure how that pilot would go, but I'm getting my wings flying.
Right on. So, are you looking to do this maybe on a weekly basis, maybe once a week? You think you can pull that off?
Yeah, if you'd like to.
All right, sounds good. So, you guys want to contact him, send any questions or comments about his videos? It's all a work in progress, not only his videos, but my videos. We're always trying to find ways to improve the videos and improve the quality. And hopefully the quality for this video was a little bit better with the the Google Hangouts. If you have any suggestions, on improving the video quality, you can leave me a comment. I mean, I'm recording this off of an iMac, so it's not like I'm using a cheap potato, as some people might say. Using an expensive piece of equipment here to record these videos. Some people have suggested Skype, so maybe at some point we'll try that, see if the streaming is a little bit better on the Skype app. The thing I like about the Google Hangouts is we can record here and the video's immediately up on the channel, and I can make it live. And, it's just very convenient. If I do it on Skype, I have to edit it and upload it to the YouTube channel. It's just more time consuming.
Right.
So hopefully we can get the quality as good as possible here on YouTube, and hopefully that'll work out. But if you have any suggestions, feel free to shoot me a comment. So that'll wrap it up for the video. We will see you guys next time.